They came to perform, to electrify the crowd, to leave it all on stage. But for these rock legends, the final curtain fell mid-song. What was meant to be another night of music turned into a moment frozen in time, witnessed by fans who had no idea they were watching history's last act unfold. These are moments musicians gave their final breath under the lights, right in the raw pulse of performance. Number 10. Taylor Hawkins. On March 25, 2022, Foo Fighters were scheduled to headline Festival Estéreo Picnic in Bogotá, Colombia. But just hours before their set, drummer Taylor Hawkins began experiencing chest pain. Emergency services were called, but it was too late. He was found unresponsive in his hotel room and was pronounced dead shortly after.
Every day of my life, I work till I ache my bones.
His death shook the world of rock and roll to its core. Taylor wasn't just Dave Grohl's right-hand man. He was the heart of the Foo Fighters' live energy. His thunderous drumming, effortless vocals, and infectious personality made him a fan favorite at every show. That night in Bogotá, fans gathered outside the hotel singing My Hero in Tears. It was supposed to be another epic Foo Fighters show, but instead, it became a tribute to a legend lost far too soon. While the official cause of death was never publicly confirmed, the legacy he left behind echoes in every stage he graced. Taylor's passing reminds us that even rock's brightest flames can fade in the quiet before the encore. Number 9. Country Dick Montana. On November 8, 1995, Country Dick Montana, drummer and occasional frontman of the alternative country rock band, The Beat Farmers, was playing a show in Whistler, British Columbia. Midway through the set, he suddenly collapsed behind his drum kit. At first, the crowd kept cheering, thinking it was part of the act. Country Dick was known for his wild antics, slapstick humor, and over-the-top stage presence. But this time, the joke never ended. He had suffered a heart attack and was pronounced dead shortly after. Montana was a larger-than-life character in the underground rock scene, fusing punk spirit with outlaw country attitude. With his baritone growl and fearless charisma, he was the kind of performer who could make a dive bar feel like a stadium. And fittingly, he went out exactly how he lived: loud, outrageous, and mid-performance with fans watching in disbelief. Number 8. Mark Sandman. On July 3, 1999, during a performance at a music festival in Palestrina, Italy, Mark Sandman collapsed mid-set while playing with his band Morphine. It happened quickly. He slumped on stage in the middle of a song and never regained consciousness. Despite immediate medical attention, he was pronounced dead shortly after. The cause: a sudden heart attack.
I feel lucky. I just feel that way.
Mark Sandman wasn't your typical frontman. He played a two-string slide bass, sang in a deep baritone whisper, and led one of the most unconventional bands of the 90s. Morphine's sound was a smoky blend of jazz, blues, and alternative rock. Moody, minimalist, and hypnotic. Albums like Cure for Pain and Yes gained cult followings. Sandman himself was the essence of cool. Quiet, mysterious, endlessly creative. He died in the middle of doing what he did best, commanding the stage without ever raising his voice. Number 7. Les Harvey. On May 3, 1972, guitarist Les Harvey stepped on stage with his band Stone the Crows at Swansea Top Rank in Wales. As he reached for the microphone, a surge of electricity shot through his body. The mic hadn't been properly grounded. In front of a live audience with his bandmates watching in horror, Les was electrocuted on stage. He was just 27 years old. Harvey had been a rising star in the British blues rock scene. With his soulful guitar work and gritty tone, he brought raw power to Stone the Crows, an up-and-coming band with a passionate following. His death shocked the music world and led to major changes in live performance safety standards. But for those who were there that night, and for fans who discovered the band later, it was more than a cautionary tale. It was the loss of a true talent gone far too soon. Number 6. Judge Dredd. On March 13, 1998, British ska and reggae performer Judge Dredd took the stage at the Penny Theatre in Canterbury. It was supposed to be just another night of laughter, music, and his famously cheeky lyrics. But shortly after finishing his set, Judge Dredd collapsed backstage from a massive heart attack. For a few surreal moments, the crowd thought it was all part of the act. His performances were often outrageous, filled with satire and over-the-top theatrics. But this time, it wasn't comedy, it was real. Though he wasn't mid-song when it happened, his collapse came immediately after stepping off stage, with his final moments still wrapped in the spotlight of live performance. While best known for his reggae and ska hits, Judge Dredd lived the outrageous, no-limits lifestyle of a true rock star. Banned by the BBC, loved by fans, and never one to tone it down, his sudden passing marked the end of a truly unique voice in music history, an artist who performed right to the very end. Number 5. Nick Menza. On May 21, 2016, drummer Nick Menza was on stage at a small Los Angeles club called The Baked Potato, performing with his jazz metal fusion band OHM. The setting was intimate, the crowd just feet away, locked into the rhythm. Then, in the middle of a song, Nick suddenly collapsed behind the drums. At first, some thought it was part of the show, but the music stopped. He didn't move. Fans and bandmates rushed to help, but Menza had suffered a massive heart failure. He was pronounced dead shortly after. Nick Menza had once played for thousands as the powerhouse drummer of Megadeth during their golden era in the 90s. Albums like Rust in Peace and Countdown to Extinction were defined by his tight, thunderous playing. He brought precision to chaos, discipline to speed. Even after Megadeth, Menza never stopped exploring rhythm. Whether it was progressive rock, fusion, or metal, he stayed curious and committed to the stage. Number 4. Sib Hashian. On March 22, 2017, drummer Sib Hashian was performing aboard the Legends of Rock cruise, playing classic hits in front of fans, surrounded by open sea. Mid-set, without warning, he collapsed behind the drum kit. Attempts to revive him were made on board, but Sib was pronounced dead shortly after. He was 67 years old. Hashian rose to fame as the drummer for Boston, one of the biggest arena rock bands of the 70s. His tight, booming grooves were the backbone of massive tracks like More Than a Feeling and Peace of Mind. While many musicians fade from the spotlight with age, Sib never stopped performing. Even decades after Boston's heyday, he was still giving fans the music they loved: live, loud, and with heart. His final moments weren't in a hospital or alone backstage. They were on stage, in rhythm, doing what he'd always done, driving the beat one last time. Number 3. Ty Longley. On February 20th, 2003, the band Great White took the stage at the Station nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Just seconds into their set, a pyrotechnic effect lit up the back of the stage, and within moments the club was on fire. The flames spread with terrifying speed, igniting the soundproofing foam on the walls and ceiling. Panic set in. People rushed to the exits, smoke filled the room, and chaos overwhelmed the venue. Within minutes, the building was engulfed. Guitarist Ty Longley never made it out. Some reports say he had escaped and went back inside, possibly to help others or to retrieve his gear. No one can say for sure. What's certain is that he was one of the 100 people who lost their lives that night in what became one of the deadliest nightclub fires in U.S. history. Ty was known for his energy on stage and his deep love for playing live. That night, he showed up to give fans a show he never could have imagined would be his last. Number 2. Dimebag Darrell. On December 8, 2004, during a damage-planned show at the Alrosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, tragedy struck just seconds into their opening song. A deranged fan stormed the stage and shot Dimebag at point-blank range. It wasn't random. The shooter blamed Dime for Pantera's breakup, a twisted belief that led to a horrifying act. In the chaos, 3 others were killed, and the horror unfolded in front of a packed crowd. A heroic police officer ended it with a single sniper shot. He wasn't just a guitarist, he was a force of nature. As the face-melting shredder behind Pantera and later Damageplan, Dimebag helped define an era of groove metal with a sound as brutal as it was precise. Dimebag's death is one of the most shocking moments in music history, A brutal reminder that even on a stage filled with light and sound, darkness can find a way in. And at number 1, Mike Scaccia. On December 22, 2012, guitarist Mike Scaccia was performing at the Rail Club in Fort Worth, Texas, playing a birthday show with his original band, Rigor Mortis. In the middle of a song, he suddenly collapsed on stage. At first, the crowd thought it was part of the performance. Mike was known for his intense stage presence. But the music stopped. He never got back up. He had suffered a fatal heart attack. Scaccia was best known for his work with Industrial Metal Pioneers Ministry, where his lightning-fast tremolo picking and machine-like precision became a signature part of their sound. He also played with Revolting Cocks and helped shape the sound of underground metal throughout the 90s and 2000s. Despite his speed and aggression on guitar, offstage Mike was known as humble, kind, and deeply dedicated to his craft. He spent his final moments doing what he loved on stage, with lifelong friends surrounded by fans, lost in the sound of his guitar.